Hi guys, today's poem is going to be Blessing by Imtiaz Dharker. So welcome, and we will make some annotations together. So some context on Imtiaz Dharker. She is a poet, artist and video filmmaker. She was awarded the Queen's Gold Medal for Poetry in 2014. Her poems are on the British GCSE and A-level English syllabus, and she reads with other poets to over 25,000 students a year at Poetry Live. This is a quote from Caroline Duffy, which is really lovely, about Dharker. Whether she writes of exile, childhood, politics or grief, her clear-eyed attention brings each subject dazzlingly into focus. She makes it look easy, this clarity and economy, but it is in her deft phrasing, wit and grace that creates this immediacy. If there were to be a world laureate, then for me the role could only be filled by Imtiaz Dharker, and that's by a fellow poet, and I thought that was really nice. Okay, so the themes of this poem are poverty, importance of water, and faith and religion. The structure is 4 stanzas of varying length. This could relate to the excitement of the events. It's set in Mumbai, India, focusing on the reaction of children who celebrate a municipal pipe bursting with water. So starting with the title, water is seen as a blessing here. It's God's favour, it's God's protection, so that's why the poem's called Blessing. The skin cracks like a pod, there never is enough water. So we've got a simile here straight away. It's extremely warm climate in India, unkind to the skin, especially without water, and you've got the harsh sounds of the k from crack and like and skin. They convey the dryness and the lack of moisture there. A pod holds seeds and opens with water, but without it, it will dry up and it will crack and not flourish. A bit like the skin here. There never is enough water. It's a harsh statement showing the reality of the situation. Never conveys the long-standing problem. This is a problem before, now, and probably will be in the future as well. Stanza 2. Imagine the drip of it, the small splash echo in a tin mug, the voice of a kindly God. The imperative verb imagine is asking the reader to really empathise with the situation. Water is something that most of us, if you're in a privileged position, have more than enough access to. And it's asking you to think big here, yet you're met with a drip. So you've got the onomatopoeia here of drip, splash and echo, and they're emphasising the sound of the water and the importance of it. And drip suggesting a tiny amount of water, is showing the severe dehydration. And the tin mug must have been empty already in order to hear the echo of such a small drip. Tin mug, also kind of tin connotes the poverty that they are in. You've got the voice of a kindly God. So we've got a metaphor here. In desperation, it's stereotypically that you will resort to faith and ask God and pray to God. The adverb kindly, they are grateful when they do receive any water. They're not resentful, they're grateful for when it does come to them. And you've got the noun God, powerful, omniscient. Their prayers have been answered. They've been praying for water and they finally get it. Stanza 3, so the largest stanza. Sometimes the sudden rush of fortune, the municipal pipe bursts, silver crashes to the ground, and the flow has found a roar of tongues. From the huts, a congregation, every man, woman, child for streets around butts in, with pots, brass, copper, aluminium, plastic buckets, frantic hands. You've got the sibilants here representing the excitement and fast rush of water. The sudden rush juxtaposes with the earlier drip And this shows how this is such a special moment, that this really is something different and something to be appreciated. You've got the metaphor silver has connotations of being precious and expensive, and it's just showing how priceless and valuable the water is in this moment, and that there's so much of it that it's just like having silver on the ground. You've got the roar of tongues, so the auditory language of roar conveys the excitement and desperation from everyone coming in to have a drink. Congregation, again a reference to religion, showing that everyone has come to worship the water, to worship this moment that doesn't come very often. You've got enchantment here flowing on to the next line, and it's just kind of showing how everyone is coming together and listing and portraying how everyone is getting anything they can to fill up with water, because they haven't had it for quite a long time. And Dharker leaves this stanza on frantic hands, the adjective frantic showing the hysteria after so much pain and anguish. People don't know what to do with themselves, and their hands are just everywhere because they just want to feel, taste, have the water on them, or to drink it. Stanza 4. And naked children screaming in the liquid sun, their highlights polished to perfection, flashing light as the blessing sings over their small bones. So we are concluding with a joyful moment. However, there is this underlying poverty that still remains. So the children are still naked. That they don't have many clothes. You've got the verb screaming here. This could be with excitement, but we could also foreshadow the pain that may follow when the water is gone. This is just one pipe bursting. So yes, it's an amazing moment, but it still signifies that there is this ongoing issue that isn't sorted just by this one moment. You've got the beautiful imagery here of the liquid sun, portraying new beginnings, but also just showing how the sun is reflecting off the abundance of water. And it's such a special, beautiful moment that really needs to be appreciated. Highlights polished to perfection. The highlights are the children's bodies. They're being bathed and cleansed in the water. But it could also suggest that their distress and their pain is being washed away by this moment. But then we do end on quite a solemn note, ending with the message that the poverty is still not over and the children are still malnourished, and you've got that by the imagery of small bones. Further blessings are still needed, and it makes the reader question, could they be doing anything differently in their day-to-day life in terms of charity, or just making them a little bit more aware of the situation in other countries and the privileges that they do have. Thank you very much for listening, and if you've got any other comments or any other ideas, please do not hesitate to comment below. Thank you very much.